out here in DC, in the DCSAA, we are obviously home to some of the top student athletes in the country in all sports, not just basketball, but also in football, also in soccer, in track and field, some of the top student athletes. What I want to know from you all is, who are the top student athletes that you have ever played with, that you've ever coached against, or even that you've even seen?
I'm going to go in the past. All these guys and young ladies have come through and have finished.
You might steal my number one here. Don't steal my number one, okay?
Look, you can't. Luca Garza's got to be on everybody's list.
There we go.
He carried Murray against that Gonzaga game. It was in a semifinal. It was just unbelievable. Luca Garza is just a workhorse. Was a workhorse at Murray and is a workhorse at Iowa. Maya Moye from Anacostia. I was in the building tonight. She scored 50 points.
She put up 50.
Oh my gosh! In Bison Arena, or whatever the name of the arena is at Howard. Maya owned it that night. Zaya Holman from GDS. Just a phenomenal track athlete and just a really nice person as well. Luke Tawalt from Washington Latin.
Yeah.
Pushing those Gonzaga Eagles in cross country and winning a couple of state titles there. And then, I'll go way back my first basketball tournament. I was just amazed and still am today when I watch him play. Josh Hart.
Wow.
Well friends as well for me.
He was a Laker. Look, Clark, I'm going to dive in here because you mentioned a couple of mine as well. Number one, Luke Tawalt, outstanding. Look, I think I've interviewed Luke about 20 times because he just keeps winning races out there. The ones that I wanted to hit on, and Coach, this is for you, and I mean this. Ryan Jones. I love Ryan Jones. I love what he, from an outsider's perspective, I love what he meant to your program. I love the leadership that he embodied. I love the young man that he was. So Ryan Jones, maybe a bit to some, but he makes my list. Secondly, the diminutive one, Chris Likes, point guard out there. 5'5". They listen to like 5'7", but Lord knows he's about 5'5". He gets it done amongst the Giants. He's doing it right now down at the University of Miami as well. His counterpart, Clark Ray, like you said, Luca Garza, that was an amazing battle. Biggest man on the court, smallest man. Clark, did you think that Luca, look, he was great in the DCSAA, but did we ever imagine that he would go on to be this? He's going to be the NCAA Player of the Year this year. Did we think that he would go on to be this?
I think a great thing about being in this business and being around student athletes and being in such a geographically compact area where you get to watch them play and grow. I don't remember Luca being that great as a freshman. I don't remember him being that great as a sophomore, but watching him grow year after year, assuming that leadership role and putting that team on his back, and they were like 2 shots away from a final.
Yeah.
Over at Georgetown, right at McDonough. I never thought that. What a great story that is.
We do hope that Luca not only brings home that trophy, but then goes on to NBA fame. Maybe we'll get him on a Zoom call. We were really good to him. Luca, come on back. My number 2, I'm going Caleb Williams. The Gonzaga people are going to fuss at me again for listening, and I'm not saying he's number 2, but just in terms of Caleb Williams, outstanding quarterback, the best football player that I've ever covered in my time in covering sports. But my top student athlete that I've seen is Clark Ray, Zaya Holman. She was absolutely amazing, and what she's doing as a true freshman right now at the University of Michigan is amazing as well. If you're just a football or basketball person and you're not keeping eyes on Zaya Holman, please look her up. You'll be more than impressed.
Clark and Chad took 2 of the guys I was going to say. Clark took Josh Hart, who I first saw play at the Gonzaga DC Classic in, I think, 2012. And I was just amazed by just the poise he played with, how patient he was, how he was both on both offense and defense. I was amazed by Josh Hart. And then Chris Likes was the other one, the smallest guy on the court, but he had tremendous heart. He was always ready to play against any and everybody. Raheem Jarrett from St. John's. He was in my opinion, a time the man among boys. Anything you asked him to do, he could play a little bit of offense. He could play a little bit of defense. If whatever you needed him to do, he would do it. He was willing to do, and had success at St. John's because of how selfless he was. His size, his strength, his speed. He had everything in his arsenal. And actually, to follow that up, covering girls basketball over in Georgetown at Georgetown Visitation. I think she was class of 14 or 15, Alexis Gray. She was a point guard at Georgetown Visitation.
Oh, yeah.
And every single time I covered one of her games, she would go off for at least 20 or 25 points. No lie, every single game. It was like watching, she would come down the court, dribble, pull up from three, pull up from the foul line, go. She could drive to the basket, and she was the ultimate leader for Coach McCarthy at Georgetown Visitation. Alexis Gray, she was a pleasure to watch.
Look, bro, I'm going to, Clark, right? I'm going to pretend as though I forgot, and I'm editing this. I forgot that St. John's was in the DCSAA. How about that? Because not only did I not mention Rakim Jarrett, but no one has muttered AZ Fudd as of yet. The number one player in the nation. My gosh.
But now I prefaced mine by saying I was going all those who have come through.
Okay.
All the way through it, all right?
Okay, that's what it was. That's what we're doing right now.
But I am surprised that no one has mentioned Walter Roush yet.
Oh, right.
And do you guys remember Marta Zeisenik from National Cathedral? Well, she led them to the ISL championship a couple times in the upper division.
Keisha White, who played basketball at Friendship. From the time she stepped in the door as a ninth grader, she probably averaged 25 points. And she was just so smooth with it. Obviously she won every Charter League championship while she was in school. Scored, I think, over 2,000 points in her career. She was just an outstanding basketball player. Probably was our best basketball player in the school while she was there. The next person is Abdul Adams, who played at Wilson. And a funny story, we played Wilson at Catholic University. I think it was a kickoff classic that Clark put on. And he returned all week we had said, don't kick the ball to him if he's back there. And we jumped out on Wilson and he returned the kickoff. So I went to the special teams coach and the kicker and said, don't kick the ball to him. The very next time they kicked it to him again. And while he's running for the touchdown, I'm running to the special teams coach to strangle him. Like, I just told you, don't kick the ball to him. But he was a special young man, and he's doing well up at Syracuse. Aulani Moore, which we've mentioned before, he just brought a different level of basketball to Friendship. And took us all the way to the state championship, in which we ended up losing to that undefeated HD team. Yeah. But it was a great season and a great game. Another guy is Tyree Randolph from Gonzaga.
Oh man, what a great kid!
Great kid, and I just remember having to watch him. In the first year that they played in the DCSA playoffs, they had a few guys sit out right before we played them. And the other running back he went to Illinois and had a great career. And I just remember I wanted that guy to play so Tyree wouldn't get the ball as much. But Tyree was just a special kid and a special guy. And then I guess kind of a honorable mention is the Allende. I can't think of his last name from Wilson.
Allende Akeem. Yeah. What a great one.
Good kid.
So he was at Wilson at the same time my daughter was there. And she was a cheerleader. So I actually got to see all of their games. And from the time I saw him play, I was just like, he reminds me of Westbrook.
Yeah.
And I always said, man, you should be playing football. Like, you could be a big time football player. And he obviously did the same thing in basketball.
Ricardo Report, bro.